Dr. Chandra approached me a few months ago. We would like to invite you to give a public lecture at Shiva, Because I told her, I've been working on this Chinese school photo book project for the past 2 years. And if you want, I can talk something after the book is finally completed. Then after that long wait, no reply. I said, okay. Then finally said, no problem. The decan suggested you give a talk on wage policy in the country. I could have, but I said it could be finished in 2 minutes. Essentially what happened is, under Mahathir and Rafida, for the past 20, 30 years, it's low wage economy, full low industry capital, full low labor intensive industry and all that. And when they left the scene, we want to try to change it. It's so difficult. You have the sectorial wage council. Some of the esteemed professors were involved. Professor Noma, Rohana, and all that. They were involved in the wage council that we created. And finally, we now have a nationwide minimum wage law. But that took 30 years to do that. So, but that's a nutshell. Okay, now I want to go back to my original topic, which is the Malaysian Chinese primary school, a tale of its adaptation to the multi-ethnic environment. Why do I do that? A lot have been written in the academic literature about Chinese school, Chinese education. You go to Chinese studies department, you find a lot of words that are written. Anyone will tell you that. But not many people want to read it because it's not academic, and things written in millions of words. And I was surprised after so many years of independence, off and on, when some people are not happy, they put up a big poster, Puskan, SJKC and all that nonsense. So I thought, don't have to get worked up. I mean, the only way is go around the country, study what is actual status of the present schools, and put in a photo uniform, then everybody can form their own opinion of what it is. So that's what I did for the last 2 years. Basically, the material for today's presentation are from the book which I compiled, finished just 2 months ago, and is now available from popular bookshop. But no, I'm not advertising it, because I promised the schools that all the money I get will go back to the schools. So I'm not making it. As a preamble to the whole topic, the Malaysian Chinese primary school system in the country, as of now, consists of 1,293 government-assisted schools with an enrollment of about 580,000. This constitutes about 20% of the total students enrolled in the Malaysian primary school, about 20%. So Sekolah Kebangsaan, there will be about 5,000. Tamil school, there will be about 400. Sekolah Agama Rakyat, there will be another 500. So that is the whole, in that whole primary school system, about 20% of the pupils go to Chinese primary school. In today's photojournal presentation, I want to do it very fast. I want to divide it into 3 portions. Firstly is the school's developmental journey, and I divided into 3 parts. The pre-independent part, what I call by the challenging era of 1961 to 1996, when the whole government education system was governed under the 1991 Education Act. And then later on, I will talk about what I call by the accommodating era, when the new Act, 1996 Education Act, was introduced. From that, I will talk about the Section B, the characteristics that have emerged in the schools for the last 20 or 30 years or so. Particularly, I want to talk about the continued white community support that the schools received. And then this is a common issue, the pressure that the teachers in Chinese schools always faces from the school boards and the PTA, intense pressure, to perform, to do all kinds of things. And the Mandarin learning and rote learning. A lot of critics say Mandarin is rote learning, and therefore it stifles creativity. I will discuss that. And then I will talk about some of the under-enrolled and congested schools. And finally, I go to the main part, the adaptation or the adjustment to the multi-ethnic environment, which I talk about, I think, take about 1/3 of the presentation. And then lastly, because we are now talking in FEA, I would want to talk about some of the relevant economic and administrative research issues that arise. In Peninsular Malaysia, the pre-57 heritage trade is interesting. In a nutshell, the clans associations were in the forefront of promoting Chinese education. The first wave of Chinese came to Malaysia following the visit of Zheng He was in the 15th century. Now the number who came was very small, then eventually they lost the language, just maintained their basic lifestyle, and they become the Nyonyas and the Babas today. In the 18th century, 19th century, when the Western powers came, more Chinese came in, and the clans associations organized Chinese classes in clan houses and in temples. And eventually these informal classes evolved into schools. Sir Francis Light had gone on record to say that in 1794 in Penang, there were a lot of Chinese classes held everywhere. There they were reciting the Confucius classic, Yan Qi Chou, Xing Wen Xing and all that. So they were reciting that, and there were a lot of classes being held. However, most of the records of these classes were destroyed during the Japanese occupation. And today, researchers generally agree that the earliest recorded Chinese class started in 1819 in the Penang Wu Tang, or the Wu Fu Su Yan, or the Learning Courtyard of Five Happiness. The temple is still functioning as a Cantonese Association Ancestral House in Penang today. Then, of course, the clan associations went on to form other schools. The Hainanese Association in Penang set up the Ekwa School, and today the SJKC Ekwa is still located beside the Hainanese Ancestral Temple in Penang. Similarly, the Teochews set up the Hanjiang School, and of course, in other towns, the Hokkiens, the Ingchuns, they set up schools in Malacca, in Seremban. The Hakkas set up schools, the Yok Chai School in Ipoh, and so on and so forth, so all over the place. Those days there were no local teachers, so the early teachers of the Chinese school came from China, and during the time, of course, many of them brought plaques and memorials from the Qing dynasty, and also from the Republican government. If you go to the Penang SJKC Chonghua Confucian today, you can see a plaque that is still hanging in the hall, which says Shen Jiao Nan Ji. That means the voice of education flows to the south. South means the South China Sea. Similarly, in Fong Yu 1, there is a plate hanging out in the hall there. Nan Li Fu Jiao, that means going to the south to teach. So in other schools they have, but many of them have been destroyed and so on, so I couldn't get many of them. The churches also were very active in setting up schools. In particular, in Malacca, the SJKC Notre Dame, set up by the Catholic school, Catholic Church, is still functioning today very much as a girls' school, and still maintain very much its Catholic ethos in the school. Similarly, the SJKC Sacred Heart, Balik Pulau, which was set up in 1871, has a long history of 145 years. It is still functioning as a school today. The Buddhist temple also set up some Chinese schools. They have classes in the temples, and eventually some of them involve the schools. The Xiangling School in Malacca is one example. Today it's still functioning as a school, but inside the temple. And more interestingly, the Pote School functioning in Penang as SJKC Pote. Today, a lot of alumni still go back to the school compound because of the big Pote tree that is still flourishing in the school. They like to go back there and sit down and sort of reflect on the past. The British government at that time in Peninsular Malaysia did very little for education. They left it to the churches, to the temples, and so on. Over across the South China Sea, in Sabah was then ruled by the North Colonial Charter Company, and they generally ignored Chinese education. However, in the mid-1800s, a number of vessel Christians They had to run away from China after the Taiping Rebellion, because they were then chased away by the Qing dynasty soldiers. Literally, they would catch all of them and sort of slaughter the whole generations. So they had to run away. And some of them they sought refuge in Kedah. And then they set up the schools, Chinese schools and also English schools. The schools they set up were actually initially taught in Hakka. The first school in Sabah was set up by them, Lok Yu Batu Satu Sekolah Kedah, in Kedah, in 1903. Now, I didn't mention, in those days, all the schools were taught in their dialects. The Teochews would teach their children in Teochew, the Highlandese school would teach Highlandese, and so on and so on. And so in Sabah, they taught in Hakka. They read the Bibles in Hakka, I suppose, in those days. Then after 1911, the whole thing was changed to Mandarin with the Republican government in place. In Sarawak, the White Rajas also essentially ignored Chinese education. But gold was discovered in the Sarawak's first division, and a school was set up. And this school eventually evolved to be the SJKC Chungpa Aku. Had 100 years history. If you go around there, you can still see ambience that remind you of those olden days. There's a small countryside church, there's a small Kuan Yin temple that served as a roundabout. So you can imagine those days they have a different lifestyle. The churches in Sarawak also was very extremely active. They set up a large number of schools, 20, 30 schools, mainly in Cebu, Sarikei, and some in Kuching. I like this school because it was SJKC Sacred Heart Chinese, Cebu. When I went in the school, I thought it was a church. Then I looked around and came back. No, my research assistant told me, no, the whole thing is a school. It is a school, it's not a church. Inside, the whole thing is a school. So, okay, it's a school, yeah, okay. You can see the school there, but I thought it was a church, so I thought it got interesting. After independence in 1957, and formation of Malaysia in 1963, Chinese education became a very controversial political issue, of course. The debate then was satu bahasa, satu bangsa, dan satu negara, or perpaduan dalam perbedaan, one language, one race, one nation, or unity in diversity. So the debate was very hot at that time, as probably know. In 1961, after the Rahmat Talib report, a new 1961 Education Act was formulated. In particular, Clause 21(2), which states that where at any time the minister is satisfied that a national type primary school means a vernacular school, may suitably be converted into a national primary school, he may by direct order direct that the school shall become a national primary school. So this clause, 21(2), was the clause that everybody says those days, the huge sword hanging over the schools. Because at any one time the minister could direct, just by letter, that the school be changed. And in fact, with that act, it made Chinese education or vernacular education temporarily in nature. And over the period 61 to 95, only small capital grants were given to Chinese schools, and many of these schools actually suffered. For example, this school at SJKC Zhonghua in Yalas, the students were studying under the roofs that were blown off, and SJKC Kaiman in Pentong had its walls all infested by termites and so on. So these are just some examples of the schools that existed at that time. And of course, over this period, the Chinese press in particular was extremely vocal and critical of the government. I think we went through those days. Every day we look at the newspapers during that period, there would be articles writing, criticizing the government. They were very vocal. They said, why don't you remove 21(2)? Why don't you let unity and diversity and so on and so forth? So these are some examples of the news. So when I was a deputy minister in 1990, my biggest nightmare every morning when I get up is to read the Chinese press and see what which HM or which school are scolding me and all that. Oh, I tell my press secretary, don't tell me those things before I go to sleep. I want to sleep first, in the morning we'll deal with it. I mean, that was the order of things. The Chinese press was free, you know, and then, they served their role. I mean, they thought that it's a big issue. Well, it is a big issue, but they really highlighted it. And the Chinese community, instead of getting despondent, actually, they fell on their spirit of self-reliance. They rallied in support of Chinese schools. And fundraising campaigns, those days were common nature. There were Chinese opera shows for schools, haircut, taxi, selling of bread, selling of beer, and so on, everywhere, you know, raising. And people were actually donating money, and the Buddhist Association, all out in the forefront to mobilize public support. So they face it, and through the spirit of self-reliance. And basically, over these 3.5 decades, these campaigns have etched the schools into the hearts and minds of the Chinese community. Actually, today, if you ask any Malaysian Chinese, whether it's Hakka, Teochew, or Hainanese, whether it supports the government or opposes the government and so on, the Chinese school is one single common marker that have a common platform. It is the thing because of those intensive campaigns those days that just driven it into their psyche. So intensive efforts were made to remove clause 21(2). Fortunately, at end of 1995, Dato' Andi presented the new act, which removed 21(2) and accepted Chinese education as a permanent landscape of the Malaysian education system. And I would say since that new act was formed, the system, the primary school system had become much more, I would say, accommodating and liberal. And since then, significant capital grants have been allocated to the vernacular schools, the mission schools, and also the scholar Agama Rakyat. And of course, since the period, a number of new Chinese schools have been formed, including the SJKC Mas Maju with multiracial enrollment. And in Subang, in the SJKC Tun Tan Siu Sin, there's also another new school, Tun Tan Ching Long, also in Subang. And when I told Shok Chu that, she was quite happy that the only family with a grandfather and a father with the school name under them. Not very easy to achieve.